All right, good morning, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back after a day away. I hope that you're all excited for the beginning of my 6+ consecutive days. I don't know why I said 6+. It's 6 consecutive days of gameplay streaming here on Twitch. And this week is going to be something special. It absolutely is, ladies and gentlemen. Good stuff coming up this week. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited too. And I will apologize in advance. I completely forgot to take down the Christmas/holiday decorations and animations yesterday like I was supposed to. I got so wrapped up with doing stuff here with my family that I completely wrote off like anything, regarding work, which is good because I like having that day away from work and not really having a crossover. But I totally forgot. So what I'll do is tonight, I'm going to grab one of my big paper bags from down that I have in the kitchen. I usually keep them for when we go places like Trader Joe's and stuff. And I will pack up the Christmas decorations. Maybe even live on tonight's stream. Oh my God, can you imagine that? Live on tonight's stream, I take down the Christmas decorations. It will be the most epic thing you've ever seen. Yeah, right. But anyway, we get one more extra day of holiday festivities here on my streams because I forgot. All right? Now, ladies and gents, this week is going to be cool because my streams are going to mix it up a little bit finally. After the last few weeks kind of being the same exact thing every other day, there's finally going to be some variety on my streams. Why? Because we finished Cyberpunk on Monday. Thank God. Because of all the games that I've been playing recently, Cyberpunk has been the one that's like, oh my God, I got to play it again. Because it was just so subpar. It was obviously an unfinished game, and it was a game that had potential but didn't really live up to any of its potential. And I'm glad now that I'll now be able to focus in on games that I've been enjoying, and a brand new game is going to hit the rotation this week. Okay? So this is all good stuff, and I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Instead of just the same old thing every day, we're going to have some good variety. Okay? So, let's talk, my friends. Today, what are we doing? Today, it is the continuation of Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. I am in the midst of a very cool part of the game where we're not in Ichinjo anymore. We're in Sotenbori, which is part of, I believe it's Osaka, Japan. And this is a part of the game that you've been to this map before if you've played previous Yakuza games. It's pretty small. It's definitely not a full-fledged map. It's just a small tasting of an area, basically. But I am having fun. We're in the middle of a challenge tower, and we have 10 more stages to go. I don't know if I'll be able to complete all the optional objectives, but I want to try to beat it just to see what items I can get and get as much experience as I can before I head into the next major leg of the story. Okay? So that's what we're doing first today, and then after that, we're heading into the next major leg of the story, which from what I'm being told from both my wife and other people who played the game, this is one of the best parts of the game, and people are super pumped to see me play it because they want to see my reactions to it. Now, yesterday, my wife completed Yakuza 7. Alright? During my day off, it's her day off as well, she played a bunch of the game. Now, one thing I want to say up front, no, I am not spoiled on the game. Despite the fact that my wife is way ahead of me and beat the game, I don't know anything about what's coming because she played the game in Japanese. And while she was playing, I never entered her office so that I could never see what was going on. I could never be spoiled. Okay? So it was funny because she's playing the game, and I hear this most epic fucking music. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like a super epic final boss fight or something. And then the credits start rolling. And I walk up, just looking in the room, because actually we were about to order dinner. And I was like, so how was it? She's like, it can't be over. There's got to be more. There's got to be more after the credits. There's no way that's the end of the game. It's like, okay. So I came back like a half an hour later, and she's like, that was the best game. Like, seriously, she's like, that's the best Yakuza I've ever played. It's a super awesome game. She absolutely loved the game. She's like, this is so good. Such an amazing game. And she's like, I can't wait to see you play it on your streams now, moving forward, because she loved playing it so much. She can't wait to see me enjoy all this stuff, for the very first time on stream. So that's cool. That's really cool. I am very excited for this. Being told directly, not only by other people who've already played the game, but by my own wife, that the game is so outstanding, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. All right. So, pretty cool. And I'm excited for this, obviously. And I hope you guys are excited to see the continuation of Yakuza 7. Now, I'm in Chapter 12. The game has 15 chapters. but the final chapters are apparently quite long. So even though it sounds like, oh, Phil's in chapter 12 or 15, he'll beat this in 2 streams. No. From what I'm to understand, we've got at least like 20 plus hours left in the game. I'm already like 55 plus hours in, and reportedly the game's around 80 hours long. So it would definitely make sense that this would be another, 20 plus hours. So we'll see, but I'm excited. I'm having so much fun every time I play the game. And the cool thing is, because the game has a lot of combat, it allows us to interact a lot. It allows us to have a good time of conversation and fun. So I hope you guys will join me for the journey over the next couple of weeks. I'm basically thinking it's going to take roughly about 2 weeks or so to beat the game. And that's okay. I'm in no rush. Even though, yes, my year-end series are coming, but they're kind of a little bit in limbo because basically I need to finish this up, right? I need to finish up Yakuza 7, and I need to finish up Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And once I beat those games, then I can finally do my Game of the Year awards and my most disappointing Games of the Year countdowns. Okay? So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. I really am. I'm like super pumped for today. Okay? Alright, tonight, the late stream is going to be Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Last couple of times that I've played, of course I've raged when the connections were bad, but in general the connections are better, and I've done pretty good, and I'm excited for more tonight. Okay? Multiplayer action. Now, tomorrow, if you've been asking for something new, for variety, you're going to get it tomorrow. Okay? Why? Because tomorrow I'm starting a new game. Tomorrow I'm starting Immortals Fenyx Rising. This is a game that, by all reports from people who've played it, is really good. It plays similar to Breath of the Wild, only it has a completely different plot line, world design. It's basically based around Greek mythology, okay? Apparently the writing is quite good and entertaining, good story, and people who played this are basically like, damn, it really sucks that literally no one really talked about this game. It kind of got glossed over because it came out right after the launch of the new consoles and right before the release of Cyberpunk. I've been wanting to play this game ever since it came out, and now I finally get to play it. All right? Thank goodness. So that's starting tomorrow on the main gameplay stream. Tomorrow night, it's going to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla continuing on. Okay? Friday, more Yakuza 7, paired with my weekly Throwback Street Fighter session. So that should be good, and I hope you guys will join me for that. And then on Sunday, it's going to be Assassin's Creed in the first spot, and Immortals Fenyx Rising on the late stream. And that's kind of how it's going to remain. Reason being, as I've told you guys, I really need to beat both Assassin's Creed and Yakuza 7 to do my year-end series. So those games are going to be my main focus for the next couple of weeks as I attempt to wrap them up so I can move on to the next slew of stuff that I want to do. All right? Now, the night streams will be Immortals Fenyx Rising, Black Ops Cold War, and yes, once a week, some Street Fighter. Okay? Now, in addition to all of that, this month, the free for PS Plus game, one of them is going to be Maneater. This is a game that came out last year, and a lot of people who played it liked it, but basically had 2 complaints. Number 1, the game was too short, and number 2, there were some bugs. Now, I didn't play it. It actually came out right around the beginning of this whole COVID pandemic that broke out, so a lot of people were playing it because they were kind of stuck at home, not doing anything else, but I was already in the midst of a lot of other gaming projects, and so I never played it, all right? But I am interested in checking it out now, all right? So that will be something that I'll be doing and kind of mixing in with everything else. Fair enough? So there you go. That's basically my plans for the month. Now, the next new game is January 20th. It's Hitman 3. Brand new release. Yes, I'm excited for that. I'll be playing it on PS5 with all the better graphics and everything. I liked the last 2 Hitman games. In particular, Hitman 2 was really good, just too short in my opinion. So I can't wait to play this one. Okay? And then we'll play the month by ear and see what else happens and see, if time permits for anything else new. I don't know if it will, simply because I'm going to be still playing these 2 insanely long games in Yakuza 7 and Assassin's Creed and trying to rack them up. And again, that's my focus for this month, okay? By the end of this month, or early February, but I'm aiming for the end of this month, it's going to be my retrospective marathon event, where you guys are currently nominating your favorite moments from my 12 plus years as a content creator, for us to go back and watch together during this event. I'll react to them. I'll give you behind the scenes commentary. It's really fun because when I do this, it basically allows me to reminisce on the past and remember stuff that I've done, in some cases for the very first time ever. Because a lot of the times, the only time I ever saw that content was when I made it. Because I'm a very, very prolific content creator, as you guys may know. Every single day I'm doing new stuff, right? And because of that, a lot of the times I don't even remember what I've done in the past. So it's cool to do these events. These events also sometimes breed new memes and things for the streams. Like the whole vest thing came from a retrospective event last year. So I hope you'll join me for this one. This should be pretty exciting. And please, by all means, continue to nominate moments, because the more moments you nominate, the better this event will be. You can do that by typing !retrospective into the stream chat, or by just waiting every 20 minutes or so, and then a link will pop up in the stream chat by which you can actually nominate stuff. Okay? Now, in regards to this month and this month's special event for subs, it's not set up yet. You may be saying, well, why is there no sub goal set up yet? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's today, we're supposed to have a big drop in subs. Why? Because in early December, there was a giant subscription bomb that was gifted to the channel in order for us to hit the sub goal for Christmas, which was really cool that happened. Excuse me, not Christmas. It was a sub goal for this retrospective event. It was really cool that happened, but, of course, those subs are going to expire, and not every single person is going to resub, right? So that being said, that means that we have to wait for that sub bomb to expire in order to really accurately set up a new sub goal for this month. Why would I set up a sub goal for, like, you know, I don't know, 1,000 subs, and then, oh, we dipped down to 800. How the hell are we supposed to make 200 subs up, right? Wouldn't be fair. So I'm waiting for that sub bomb to expire, and the moment it does, I will set up a new subscriber goal for this month, okay? I'm thinking it's going to be today. I'm not guaranteed, but I'm almost positive it's going to be today that this is going to happen. All right, so we'll see. But if it is today, then we'll have the sub goal set up. What is the sub goal for? It is for the return of the Viewer's Choice event, where if we hit the sub goal for the month, you guys are going to be able to nominate and vote on a game that will become a full playthrough here on my streams. Previously, man, have we had a variety of stuff that's become full playthroughs, and some of these have become franchises that I was exposed to for the first time, and I've done tremendous amount of coverage of, including the Persona franchise, the Yakuza franchise, Fire Emblem Three Houses from last year, Super Mario Sunshine, the Spyro series, the Crash Bandicoot series. I could literally go back and probably pick out about 100 games. Seriously, like, so many have been Viewer's Choice events that have been very successful, okay? So I'm very excited for this. Now, to clear the air, yes, there is still a pending Viewer's Choice event that needs to happen. The name of the game is Divinity Original Sin 2. This was a game that won the Viewer's Choice last year, but because I was in the midst of playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was already an existing Viewer's Choice event that was a long-ass RPG, and because I knew I had Yakuza 7 coming up, which was going to be a long-ass new release RPG, I said I have to wait to play this game. And I am waiting to play this game. It is going to be played this year, but I have to finish up with the current content that I'm doing, including Yakuza 7 and Assassin's Creed. Once those games are wrapped up, we do the year-end stuff, then we can try to schedule in the playthrough of Divinity Original Sin 2. All right? So just to answer everyone's question, please don't sit here asking all day, when is Divinity Original Sin 2 happening? I've already explained it. All right? So there you go. That's the plan. Fair enough? But anyway, for this Viewer's Choice, there is no way I'm going to allow people to nominate an RPG. The last 3 Viewer's Choices ended up being RPGs that ended up being super long. There's no way I could do that, so we're going to do something shorter. Okay? All right. Fair enough. So that's everything going on with my streams. That's everything going on with everything here. There is some gaming news to talk about today, and there is some really big news in America to talk about. And I definitely want to talk about this. Even though I almost never talk about politics, I feel like today I got to. All right? So we shall. But before we get to that, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you in advance for your support here on the stream. I am an independent content creator. That means I am not I am not exclusively partnered to stream on any particular streaming service, nor am I paid to stream on any particular streaming service. I do not have any sponsorships with any companies. I don't get paid to shill or advertise for any company. All right? I am independent. That means that when I say stuff on my streams, It is completely honest. It is completely truthful, and is my honest opinions on whatever's going on in said games that I'm playing or whatever we're doing. I don't have to pull my punches. I don't have to watch what I say, and I'm certainly not shilling for anybody. Okay? Now, the reason I bring that up is because unlike pretty much, I would guess, almost everyone who does this for a living, I don't get those revenue sources. All right? I rely solely on your crowdfunding support in order to make a living and make ends meet and be able to afford to do this. All right? I've done this for a job since early 2010. That's a long time. You know, that's over 10 years that I've been able to make a living doing this independently because of your support. And I really, really appreciate that because, as I've told you guys many times, this is my dream job. This is my hobby, and I get to do my hobby for my job. Not many people like to say or get to say that. Many people have to work and do things, just tough it out just to make a living. I am super lucky that my passion is also my job, all right? And it's because of your support over the years that that is the case, okay? So thank you so much for giving me the ability to do that. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion with you every single day on stream. I love the interactions we have. I love the conversations we have. And, of course, I love playing games just like you guys. Now, that being said, if you guys want to support the streams because you like the content and you like me as a person or a content creator and you want to see this continue, there are several ways you can support the streams. You can cheer with bits during a stream. You can subscribe to my channel. You can gift a subscription to another viewer. Or you could tip me. All of those ways are tremendously positive ways to support the streams, and I appreciate that. I really do, if you go the extra mile, because contributions are not mandatory. They're not expected. They're not something I'm going to be sitting here asking for constantly, and it's something that I feel it really shows that you guys like what I do, and I appreciate that. That you like the fact that I'm an independent. I'm very different from all the other top content creators out there. I'm not a top content creator. You know that, but that's because I'm a different kind of guy, right? And I love the fact that people come out and support my streams and my efforts. All right? So thank you for that in advance. In particular, if you do want to support me the most, please tip me. Tipping is the best way to support because I get those funds immediately to put towards important things. For example, tonight I'm going to buy Immortals Phoenix Rising so I can start playing it tomorrow. Your tips directly today will pay for that. See? Thank you in advance for even considering it. Now, if you are going to contribute to today's streams, I have two important things to talk about. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, please do your best to protect your identities. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to be a regular on anyone's stream on Twitch, and if you're going to contribute to a stream in particular, please protect your identity. Don't use a name that's similar to your real-life persona. Certainly do not use anything that can be associated with a social media account like on Facebook that has your personal information attached to it. I strongly recommend you close off your open DMs here on Twitch, all right? And you make it so that only someone who's on your friends list on Twitch, or maybe no one at all, can even DM you. DMs here, which are direct messages, are used to harass people constantly for trolling purposes. And basically, I've had mine off for years and years, and I didn't miss out on anything, and I don't think you will either. But I just want you to understand that there are malicious parties out there with no lives, and if they can harass you and get away with it on the internet, they absolutely will. Whether or not there's actually a meaningful intention behind it or not, they'll just do it for the sake of doing it, all right? Now, number two, if you are a regular here on the streams, if you like the content, and you want to support it by tipping, I strongly recommend you create a verified PayPal account in order to do so. What does that mean? It means you set up a PayPal account where you actually put in your real information, like your name, your address, your bank account, etc. Now, don't worry. If you do that, you will not get doxxed. There's misinformation out there. People say, oh, if you do that, well, you know, people are going to know your information. No, they're not. PayPal cannot send out your personal information. If they did, you could sue them for millions of dollars. They're a giant corporation. Of course, they're not going to violate privacy laws. Okay? All I can see is if you're actually a verified PayPal account or not. All right? Now, you may say, well, why would I need to do that? What's the point? Number one, it protects you, and number two, it protects me from fraud. When you have a verified PayPal account, it puts in extra protections in place so that on either end, there can't be any fraud committed. Now, the reason that I have to bring this up is because sadly, in the last 4 months, I've gotten, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of troll tips. Someone coming in here with stolen credit card numbers and giving me fake tips, which then I need to refund, or if I'm not aware that it's a troll tip, it gets charged back after the fact, meaning the person whose credit card number that really is realizes this wasn't something they authorized, so then they dispute it with their bank, and now I lose that money. Plus, when you get tons of these things against your account here, it could hurt your PayPal account, it could amass a bunch of fees. It's a nightmare. You guys have no idea how bad it was over that whole gaming season, you know, in the fall, when every day it looked like I was making good money, and the next thing you know, half of that or more was being taken back from me on a daily basis. It was a nightmare. So I have put in protections to try to prevent this, all right? I'm currently testing said protections, and I'm tweaking them every day to try to make them better. Nothing's foolproof. There's always going to be a way around the system, and I get the feeling there's going to be people who are going to try to be malicious. They're going to impersonate other stream viewers and try to make it like, oh, look, it's a legit tip, and it's not. And there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is try to identify it up front. So the reason I'm asking you to make a verified PayPal account is because if you're verified, I know your tip is legit. Versus the other tips that are coming in that are unverified or, oh, anonymous credit card, I know those are fake. You see? So it's going to streamline the process. It's going to make it so that moving forward, things will be a lot smoother here on the streams, and once I know that I can trust certain tips, I won't have to worry about verifying tips anymore. You know what I mean? So, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you support the streams, I would ask you to go that extra mile. If you're going to tip me, please create a verified PayPal account. It's just good all around for all of our protections, all right? Makes sense. I know it takes a little bit more effort. You got to put in your real info. I get it. But it helps out. Really, it does. I can 100% tell you it's so much better to have peace of mind and not to have to worry about you're going to get scammed or screwed over, okay? All right, that's the end of that segment. We can move on to gaming news. There's not too much to talk about in gaming news, but there's one major story that everyone seems to be kind of gabbing about this morning, and that is that Capcom USA today came out with new rules and guidelines for the new year on how you can use their content on the internet. And people seem to be up in arms about this. Although, I don't really understand why. But, I guess, basically, in a nutshell, let's cover some of the things that they talk about. Alright? First of all, they're basically saying no raw gameplay footage is allowed. You cannot just raw capture a game of Capcom's and then throw your footage on the internet. They don't want you doing that. They say now if you do commentary over it, if it's a let's play, if you're editing content for a walkthrough or a review, that's perfectly fine because that's transformative work. But they're basically saying if you're just doing raw gameplay, they don't like that. All right? So, it's hard to say because, I mean, everyone always knows that there's always been a gray area, right? It's always been a gray area. What's allowed and what's not when it comes to gameplay footage on the internet. And it's interesting that Capcom came out and said this, but to what extent would they consider, you know, this is enough commentary that it's transformative or whatever? Like, let's say someone is broadcasting a live tournament of Street Fighter. Okay, well, there's commentary. There's commentators usually who are commentating over matches, right? But what if there's a tournament that's just being live broadcast and no one's really talking at the moment? Does that mean that's not allowed? I don't foresee this becoming a giant issue. I think it's going to be just like it used to be. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But what this will be is those people who put out those videos, you know, the video game, the movie, all it is the unedited cutscenes, right? All it is the unedited cutscenes that are, like, taped together or whatever. I foresee that not being allowed anymore. Like, Capcom will strike that shit down and say, no, we don't want unedited gameplay footage or just the cutscenes or whatever. We want actually legit gameplay footage with commentary on it. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking, but it's not very clear because these are new regulations, so who knows. Another thing that Capcom is saying is not allowed is sexualized content. You cannot create sexualized content with Capcom stuff. Okay, I'm not aware that anyone who's out there making over-sexualized content with Capcom stuff, but maybe there is. So I guess that's off the table now. They also basically say they don't want you exclusively using their IPs for, like, personal gain. Now, again, that's kind of a gray area. Well, anyone who's a Let's Player, anyone who's a live streamer, you're basically doing this as your business. You're making money off of it. That's personal gain, right? So are you saying, Capcom's saying you can't do that and monetize your videos anymore? I don't know. It's hard to say. And again, when these companies hash out these rules and regulations, and they start posting them on the internet, and you read them, you're like, it isn't really clear. Can I get more answers? Will we get more answers from Capcom USA if someone poses further questions? Well, does that mean I can't monetize stuff? Who knows? Now, I think what it is that a lot of people are basically just confused. They don't know what's going to be allowed and what's not going to be allowed in the future, because previously Capcom had guidelines, but it wasn't like Capcom really mentioned them that much or whatever. And the fact that Capcom outright came out this morning and posted these up publicly means that maybe they're going to be taking them more seriously. Maybe. Who knows? Or maybe it'll just be like business as usual and it's not going to be any change at all. Who knows? I think what we need to do is we need to see, moving forward, right? Does Capcom take this more seriously? Does Capcom actually start taking down videos or whatever? Or will this not be a big deal at all? Okay, I don't know. And I'm trying to think, because there was a few more points that people were making that were like, they were upset about something. But I can't remember exactly what they were now off the top of my head. What I should have done is I should have screen captured them, and I didn't. I was reading on Twitter this morning. My take is this. All right, here's my take. Number one, I don't think Capcom is trying to turn off anyone from making content from their games. I think that Capcom understands that they get a ton of exposure, in particular in their competitive circles, fighting games. They get a ton of exposure from the streams and the videos that come out and cover their stuff. I don't think they're going to deny that. I don't think they're going to try to change that at all, okay? What I think is, perhaps some of these companies are starting to wisen up and realize that there are people out there that are out to just kind of make a buck, and they're not even putting out quality content, Like, if someone's out there and all they're doing is Capcom the movie, here's the story of Resident Evil 6 or Resident Evil 7, just cutscenes, ruin the whole game. Now, who's going to play that game if they see that, right? So I think that people are trying to wise up and realize this exists, and they're trying to shut that shit down. I'm not aware of anyone out there who's like super popular for just putting out unedited raw gameplay footage outside of cutscenes, So I really don't know what this changes. And by the way, same thing with sexualized content. Like, I'm not aware of any content creator out there that's just doing sexualized content that this is going to be a big deal. Okay? But what I can say is this. All right? As nice as it is that Capcom USA is coming out and saying this, and saying, here's some guidelines to follow if you want to be safe, it means absolutely nothing. It means nothing at all. Because from my personal experience, it doesn't matter what a company puts out. They could do whatever they want, and you have the legal right to dispute whatever they say. So I'll give you a perfect example here. A few years ago, I was playing Persona 5. It was a brand new release at the time. I was loving the game. It was one of my favorite games of the year. Likely would have been at the top of my game of the year countdown that year because it was such a great game. I was following all of the guidelines that were laid out by Atlas USA for streaming this game. I had not gotten to the point in the game where they said don't stream. I was taking my time with it, enjoying it, and having no problems. And then Atlas Japan, not USA, Atlas Japan hit me with multiple copyright strikes against DSPGaming, my YouTube channel, stating that I had violated copyright and I need to stop making this playthrough immediately. What? But I was following all of their guidelines that Atlas USA had put up, right? And I was like, what is going on? So I contacted Atlas USA directly. You want to know what they told me? We don't know what's going on over there. You are abiding by all the guidelines that we were told to tell you. We have no idea why they would have hit you with copyright strikes. Eventually, I disputed the strikes and they got cleared up. But, I mean, it put my channel at risk. I was nervous that my channel could get shut down for this bullshit copyright. And thank God that they were reversed. But do you see my point? It doesn't mean at all that what these guidelines that are put out publicly mean anything. At any point, any company can just say, well, fuck it, we claim you anyway. And they have the right to do that. By the way, you have the right to dispute those claims and say, well, if you're going to strike me, well, screw you, take me to court about it. And if you have an issue with that, too bad, that's the law. And that's the case with DMCA law, that's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act law. Any company has a right to claim your content and say that it violates their copyright. And it's going to get taken down because companies like YouTube and Twitch don't want to deal with legal litigation. They don't want to become the middleman in a legal dispute. So if they get a claim, they're just going to take it down like a blanket claim. Okay? They don't care whether or not you actually violated a guideline or not. They'll just take your content down. But then you have the legal right to immediately counterclaim that and say, well, per DMCA law, if you got an issue with me, sue me. And then guess what? YouTube and Twitch have to put your content back up legally. So none of this makes any sense and none of it matters. It doesn't matter that Capcom put out these guidelines. They mean nothing because they could claim you for whatever and you could dispute whatever and get it put back up anyway. They would actually legitimately have to sue you to get your content permanently shut down. So none of this makes any sense. They literally, Capcom wasted their time by putting out these guidelines because it's a legal gray area and they would have to sue you to get anything to permanently get taken down anyway. So why'd they bother? I honestly don't know. I think what they're trying to do is say, oh, look, we're trying to be in line with our community and, you know, here's what we think is cool and everything. But none of it means anything. It's completely a waste of everyone's time to put this shit up because anyone could violate it and still get away with it unless they get sued. Right? Mocking Jaybird says, well, maybe they're just trying to scare people. I mean, potentially you're right. It may be a scare tactic. Maybe Capcom sees things like Resident Evil the movie being put out on YouTube, and they're like, maybe if we just put this shit out, this will scare people into, you know, not putting that kind of content out anymore. It's not really clear what their intentions are. But it's just odd to me that this is even a discussion, and people are like, oh my god, I can't believe Capcom's changing and everything. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how are they changing? Like, this doesn't even mean anything. But I get what it is. People don't know. People haven't been involved with this process. Like I have over the years. They don't understand the legal ways that DMCA works. And because of that, they're kind of freaking out over nothing. So, really, it's a non-issue in my opinion. Okay? Outside of that, I haven't seen too much else. The only other story, which is kind of interesting to me, was that Nintendo has actually bought a game studio and brought it under their first party wing. I think they're called Next Level or something like that. It's the company that made Super Mario Strikers as well as the recent Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, if you're not aware, Luigi's Mansion 3, I played a full playthrough of it. It was the first Luigi's Mansion game that I actually covered in full. I loved it. I thought the game was absolutely outstanding. The writing was great. The puzzles were great. Like, the graphics, everything was great about this game. I really liked the game. And it's funny that this was actually made by a third-party company, even though it was a first-party Nintendo IP, because that doesn't happen too often. But again, this is a company that also made Super Mario Strikers, so this is a company that had a track record of doing this for Nintendo, and apparently Nintendo trusts them. So I guess, after the success of Strikers and Luigi's Mansion 3, Nintendo went through the legal process and has bought the company. That's cool to me, and if anything, maybe this will give them more backing. This will allow them to pump out games a little bit faster. Then we'll have more resources to make even better games, which is kind of weird because I think that Luigi's Mansion 3 was so good. I don't know how that could be even better, but hey, this is good news for them. I'm sure they're gonna have a lot more support from Nintendo directly, and I'm all for it. It's a good game company in my opinion, and that's a great story. Okay, fair enough. Oh, they'll develop the Wii Punch-Out, says Expand On. I never had the pleasure to play it. I have heard people say that the Wii Punch-Out was a great game. Sadly, I never played it. Maybe one day I will. But, yeah. This is good stuff. This is all good, positive stuff. Right? All good, very positive stuff. By the way, a lot of subscriptions are being gifted to the channel this morning. So far, we've got, I think, 25 and growing. Now, as I said, I expect we're going to have about 150 subs that were gifted in early December that are going to expire probably likely today. So what this is happening now is the subs are going to go up, but then they're going to go down. Maybe this will help to negate the big dip in subs that we're going to see. I guess we'll see. But thank you to people who are gifting the subs. I am going to do shout outs for these in a moment, okay? Sound good? Okay. All right. I think that's it for gaming news. Now, I almost never talk politics, folks. Almost never. But today, if you're not aware, if you don't live in the U.S., you probably have no idea. Today is probably the biggest and most important political day in notable memory. I would even go as far to say today is the most important political day in the United States, bigger than the election day. I'm serious. Like, it's that big of a day. Today, two key things are happening. First of all, in our governing bodies are determining whether or not they feel that our election for president was valid. All right? Now, some of you may have heard of this, and some of you, again, if you're international, you don't live in the U.S., you probably didn't hear about this at all. There has been tons of controversy and tons of claims from the Republican Party that the election was rigged, that there were things that happened that weren't legit, votes that mysteriously appeared out of nowhere that weren't real for Joe Biden for president, that certain states in our country at the last minute completely rewrote election laws, and because of that, it changed what the voting would have been. And they don't feel that that was constitutionally correct, that you could just change the laws last minute before the election. And now, all of a sudden, mysteriously, parts of the country that used to vote Republican, i.e. would have voted for Donald Trump for president, all of a sudden, Joe Biden won the election there. Okay? So what's happening is, in our government, there's going to be giant controversy today in our governing bodies. Basically, all of our lawmakers are debating, was the election legit or not? Because normally what would happen is, today, our governing body would just say, yup, it was legit, and everything would be certified, boom, 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 and then next thing you know, Joe Biden would be sworn in as president in a week or two, and everything would be fine. But essentially what's being said here is that, no, it wasn't legit, this whole thing was rigged, and it's not real, and we have to look closer at the process to figure out what really happened here. All right, because we feel that maybe our process is broken and there's actually a conspiracy against Republicans and Donald Trump. Now, do I believe this? No. Here's what I have to say about it. I don't think our election process is a good one. I think that our election process is innately flawed because we live in a digital age and it's not digital. There's only two ways you can actually vote for president. You can either mail in, meaning a paper ballot that you fill out with, pen or pencil or whatever, and you mail it in, or you go in person and wait in a fucking giant line to go to like a ballot machine or fill out a ballot and drop it in a box or whatever. That's our process, which then means there has to be a ridiculous amount of manual counting of votes. Guess what happens when human hands get put into manual counting of votes? Errors. Human error. It's natural. Now, our voting process has always been like this. My mother used to volunteer to be one of the people who gathered and tabulated votes in Connecticut. And she used to tell me that the process was pretty wonky, that basically, the people who are actually counting these votes are not certified vote counters. These are volunteers. People who just volunteer their time to do it. Some of these people are elderly people who probably can't even fucking see. And these are the people who are counting the votes that determine the future of our country. We have no actually properly regulated process when it comes to voting. It's all manually tabulated by humans, and it's volunteer work and a lot of issues with all this, okay? There could be a lot of problems with our voting process. Now, here's the thing. It's always been like that. You know what I mean? But this year seems to be the only year where now all of a sudden, now is the time to take a look at. Well, why didn't we look at this 20 fucking years ago when the internet was becoming huge and everyone was starting to use the internet on a daily basis and we realized, oh, there's digital means to vote. Why the fuck didn't we do it then? Because here's the thing, okay? Right now, everything else is done on the internet. You file your taxes on the internet. You pay bills on the internet. You do all these legal processes that are certified on the internet. Why the fuck can't we vote on the internet? Right? Now, understandably, people will say, well, that could lead to fraud. You're right. But guess what? I feel that the fraud of someone, having an irregularity of voting digitally over the internet is probably easier to figure out than a bunch of people, millions of people across the country who manually counted ballots with their hands. Like, you see what I mean? Like, this is so stupid. Our system is innately flawed and broken, and we never caught up with the times. Like, of course there could be irregularities. Like, I would go as far to say there's always been irregularities in our voting process because it's a manual fucking process. So how this is an issue now is baffling. Oh, we just figured this out. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that there's any validity at all to what the Republican Party is saying at all. I'm not saying there's any validity to that. Here's the thing. You can criticize the process. That's fine. But every time in the past 2-3 months that the Trump campaign and the Republicans have said, we feel there's irregularities, people say, okay, well, where's the evidence? They would say things like, oh, we should have won Georgia and we didn't. Okay, great. Well, where's your evidence that there was fraud in Georgia? Oh, well, there was a lot of people that showed up at Trump rallies. What? It doesn't mean shit. What are you talking about? How does that prove anything? And that's the problem, is there's never been any concrete evidence put forward of fraud. So when there's no evidence, it doesn't matter how many conspiracy theories you're twisting, right? You need evidence to prove your point, and there's been none. So today, there's going to be a lot of contention in our government over the election. Was it legit or not? But the question will still remain. It doesn't matter how many lawmakers object, and if they want a recount or whatever, they need evidence that there was actually a problem, and there hasn't been any yet. With no evidence, nothing can be overdrawn, nothing can be fixed unless there's evidence of that there was a problem. So, here's the thing. I'm all for them looking at the process, saying, what the fuck kind of process do we use? Why are we doing manual counts? Why do we have elderly people counting votes? You know, like, what is going on? For me, I think we need to have a certified process for voting and counting votes that is not foolproof, but damned better than what we have now. It's such a manually counted process that I seriously can't imagine anyone saying there's no way that there's irregularities or issues, because of course there is when it's a manual process. We're in a digital age. Everything else legally is done digitally except voting. Why? Why? So, all that being said, I think that it's going to be a very interesting day in American politics. So the other thing that's going on that's very interesting, all right, there was a runoff for the state of Georgia, okay, today in our Senate. That's one of our governing bodies. We have three. We have executive branch, which is the president, judicial branch, which is the Supreme Court, and then we have our two other governing bodies, which is the House of Representatives and the Congress. So in the Congress today, there was a runoff, and it was basically all the Senate spots for the state of Georgia were up for grabs. Now, traditionally, the state of Georgia has always been dominated by Republicans. And because of that, the Republicans have had a majority of senators in the Senate, which basically means if we're going to make a law, the Republicans kind of always had the drop on everyone else. The Republicans would get their agendas pushed through because there's more Republicans sitting there voting on things than the other side, the Democrats. Okay? Now, the reason this is important is because what just happened in the last couple of weeks? Well, if you guys have, again, if you're international to us, you may not know this. This year, we had COVID going on. Lockdowns everywhere, right? Issues everywhere with COVID. And our government, federal government, basically threw their hands up and said, well, let the states figure it out individually. We don't really have any power over anything, so fuck it. Because of that, the only thing that happened that the government helped us with this year, people received a $1,200 stimulus check, and that was it. That was the only support we got from our government. After that, they were like, well, fuck it, you figure it out. Okay? Some states kind of did better, and some states didn't do shit. All right? So a lot of people felt our government, which is, by the way, again, dominated by Republicans, left us high and dry this year and didn't really help. Well, over the Christmas time, holiday break and everything, our government wrote another bill, and this bill was give Americans another $600 each. Okay? Of course, some Americans are thrilled at that. They just want any help that they can get. Others are like, only $600? So let me get this straight. A lot of us couldn't work this year. Businesses were entirely closed because of COVID. You're telling me that $1,200 back in like May and $600 now in January, $1,800 is enough to hold us over for a fucking year during COVID. This is all our government could do for us. And so people were furious that this is all that they're doing to help us. Okay? Well, what happened? This bill got passed through our bodies of government and went to Donald Trump, our president, and our president said, this is bullshit. The people should be helped way more than this. I support $2,000 checks for each person, and I want our government, our both House of Representatives and our Congress to go back and make another bill to help Americans out more. And he even played hardball over that Christmas weekend. He didn't sign the bill and approve it yet until they agreed that those bodies agreed that they were going to reconvene and talk about giving the Americans more money. So they did do that. And he signed the bill, so basically Americans are supposed to be getting $600. Some of them have already received it, and some of them are in the process of getting it. Those who qualify, by the way. But then, last week, our government reconvened, okay? And they said, we're going to talk about giving Americans more money, $2,000. All right? So here's what happened. Here's what the point I'm getting to. The House of Representatives basically voted in an emergency meeting and said, yes, we approve $2,000 checks for every American. Let's pass it immediately. Even Republicans who previously were staunchly against it flipped and said, no, we want to help Americans more. Let's do it. And they voted in a law that said, yes, let's do it. But when this reached our Congress, okay, which is our senators that are mostly Republican, led by a Republican named Mitch McConnell. He's the majority leader. He's the one who basically makes big decisions in Congress and controls it almost. Oh, well, we feel this isn't going to benefit Americans at all. Americans don't need any more money. This is just going to hurt our economy in the long run. And basically every excuse in the book to not pass this and help Americans, they just absolutely refuse to even put it to a vote. And if you won't put it to a vote, it doesn't even matter if people support it. If it's not put to a vote, it can't ever happen. So this happened over the last week. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm calling it Congress. It's the Senate. The Senate is the senators. The House of Representatives is the House. The Senate is the senators, and the Congress is both. Okay? I got the wording confused there. Excuse me. I know people are very upset at me that I got the wording wrong. I'm very upset. And I apologize wholeheartedly. I got it wrong. Okay? Okay. Okay. Anyway. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because, interestingly enough, this week, we have a runoff for the Senate. Basically, people are voting on who do we want to be the next slew of senators. And like I said, previously, in the state of Georgia, it had always been Republicans who had dominated. Okay? But guess what just happened? These seats are now going to Democrats. Okay? Why? I'll give you one hint why. Because the fucking Republicans are morons who said the Americans don't fucking need any more money. Just think about this. Okay? People are hurting very badly. They need support. Right? They need help. They want support. And these fuckers who are our governor, are people in lawmaking are saying, oh, Americans don't need any more help. This will just hurt everything. Fuck it. Right? So, you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is so, it's bad. It's like, what did you think would happen? Did you think the American people would support this? You know, do you think they would? Did you think that they were going to support you and say, oh, this is fine that we don't need any more help? Right? No. And what happened, you saw live this week a complete flippant attitude of Americans in Georgia saying, well, fuck you. If you think, because you're rich, by the way, I should bring this up, in our government, everyone's rich. There's no one who's voted into the House of Representatives, the Senate, the presidency, or the Supreme Court, which is not voted on but is appointed by president. No one who gets into these positions is poor or a normal person. They're all fucking rich. All right? So you got a rich person or rich people who are telling the common people who lost their jobs this year, who are getting sick with COVID, who can't go out and enjoy a meal with their families because everyone's on fucking lockdown. You're telling them you don't need any more help. We know better than you, and we're telling you you don't need any more help. Even though we take all your tax money every year, we're not going to help you with it. Fuck you. Yet they're writing these bills that are throwing money, all right, out to international concerns. They're giving money to foreign countries for support and aid when our people in our country are hurting. So what the fuck did you think would happen when you abandoned your own people? Donald Trump, now I don't support Donald Trump. I think he's made a lot of horrible decisions as president, and I actually know him from business dealings that I had with him in the company I used to work for. I don't think he's a good guy. But I think he had the right idea here. He even said, if this Republican Congress does not help the American people, they are killing themselves. They will literally be committing suicide because the people are screaming for help and they're not getting it because they're being ignored. Okay? So, here's the thing. What happened? We had a runoff for the Senate in Georgia, and it looks like both seats have gone to Democrats. What does that mean? It means now our Senate will be democratically swayed. There's more Democrats than Republicans. That means Mitch McConnell, the guy who's in charge of the Senate, who said that Americans don't need any more help, is going to have his ass booted out of the power spot. And what's going to happen is when Biden becomes president and everything gets back into normal swing of session, I almost guarantee you we're going to now have our government body saying we need to vote immediately on helping the American people more, and probably the American people are going to get more support. So what did you think would happen? Like, to me, this is like common sense, but this is the problem, all right? People in our government are morons. They are rich people. They don't fucking have any connection towards real life because they live in these fucking, ivory towers. They own businesses that make them millions of dollars a year. They get kickbacks from fucking lobbyists every year. The lobbyists are people who work for corporations, and they go into our governing body and actually have these beneficial arrangements. It may not be direct money payments, but beneficial arrangements and business arrangements with people in our government that if they push their agendas, you'll be set for life. And this happens all the time, and somehow it's legal. Don't ask me how a company can make a business arrangement with one of our governing people to push their interests in our governing body, and then they get paid for it. It doesn't make any sense, but this is how this works. Our government works. It's fucked up. So what did the Republicans think would happen, right? What on earth did they think would happen if they literally outright came out and said, we don't think the American people need any help during COVID anymore? You're fucking morons. And the thing is, they thought that was okay. They thought they would get away with it because they're so disconnected from reality. They're not in touch with the common person anymore. They're too rich. They're too protected. They're too out of touch with American life to understand that people are hurting and want help. They've been screaming for it all year. Okay? So, that's what's going on right now. Not only do we have this crazy thing going on where people are trying to figure out if the election was real or not, which likely they're going to find out, yes, it was. Of course, there's probably some discrepancies. Our election system sucks ass, but likely the election was fine. But now we've got our entire governing body being flipped to the Democratic side, which means when Joe Biden becomes president, he's going to get whatever he wants because it's going to be mostly Democrats in charge. So this is going to be a crazy flip of how things are going to happen in our country. It's pretty much hasn't happened since Herbert Hoover. And you could go do legal research. You could go do history research on when Herbert Hoover was president and how people hated him so much, the entire government flipped to the other side. This is exactly what's happening right now. So, pretty crazy. I have to open the window in my office. And by the way, I am what people would consider a centrist. I don't support the Republicans and I don't support the Democrats. I'm in the middle, and I judge for myself what I feel is a valid issue and what I think, one way or the other way. That's why you never really hear me talking one way or the other on my streams about politics. I'm not going to do that. My streams are about gaming. But my God, this is like a critical point in the history of our country right now. And I was like, man, I just want to talk a little bit about it today to let people understand that this is like a turning point in our country of what's going to happen moving forward. With the next 4 years, we may see the country go in a completely different direction because this is happening. Pretty crazy. All right. Hold on. I got to open my office window. Like I said, it's getting stuffy in here now. There we go. Some cool air in here. Okay. I'm going to open a window when it's 47 degrees outside. Yes, because in my office it's probably about 85 degrees. I need to have that cool air. And, of course, I might close it again later. But all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know now I've incensed my viewing audience talking about politics for the last 25 minutes. Notice I didn't even say anything politically one way or the other, really. I'm just stating facts. This is the craziness that's going on in our country right now. And it blows my mind that this is what's happening. It's like, oh my God. You know, it's basically interesting. Okay? It's interesting to see all this take place. And it's definitely interesting to be a part of it. To live through it and be an adult now where, you know, I was younger, I didn't care about this shit. And to be honest, I don't like to involve myself in politics at all. I don't. But the thing is, these things directly affect me. They affect my family. They affect my business. This is our governing body. And to see people act like babies over the last year, arguing, oh, can we help the people? No, we can't help the people. It's so ridiculous. Like, and these are the people who are in charge. We've got them fucking doing live streams on Twitch of fucking Among Us. And we've got people who say, oh, American people don't need any help. They're all bad, in my opinion. Like, I watch this unfold, and I'm like, I hate all these fucking people. Seriously. These are the worst people to be in charge, and these are the people who we've elected to be in charge. I hate this shit. That's why I don't like dealing with it. But to me, I just gotta show you, like, I can't believe the craziness that's going on right now in government. We'll see what happens. All right? We'll see what happens and go from there, I guess. All right? But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit. I got it off my chest. That's what's going on. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next week or two with this whole election. I don't even know what to say. Review, whatever they're gonna call it. You know, and now the fact that Evilivrium, could you please stop spamming and capsing Congress has been breached? What the fuck are you talking about? Because if you're what are you talking about? All the buildings in the U.S. Capitol complex are under lockdown following a security threat from Trump supporters forcing Congress to recess during a joint session to formally count Electoral College votes. Oh, my God. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? How crazy our government is right now. Oh my God. Who knows what the fuck's going on anymore, right? This is just, and again, this is our country and our government. Oh yeah, it's a peaceful protest. That's why they had to lock down the government, right? For fear that they were going to storm the place. Oh man. Oh my God. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens. Anarchy in the Capitol. But we'll be playing Yakuza, so it's fine. We'll be playing Yakuza, so it's fine. All right. Anyway, I think I've now digressed enough talking about that. I think now we should do some shout-outs. All right? Let's do some shout-outs. First of all, yesterday during the break, Golden Colts did a couple cheers. First one he said to Romance Taco Bell. And the other one he said to have a good day off. Thank you for that, Golden Colts. Then he did a cheer this morning. All right, and he said the following. McDonald's is taking a clear aim at Chick-fil-A in the 2021 chicken sandwich wars. An internal memo viewed by Business Insider shows the fast food giant appears to set launch 3 chicken sandwiches made with a new, thicker and juicier chicken filet. On February 24th, McDonald's confirmed. The new crispy chicken sandwich will feature chicken and crinkle-cut pickles served on a buttered potato bun. Also coming is the deluxe crispy chicken sandwich with tomatoes, shredded lettuce, and mayo. I don't care, and it doesn't matter because McDonald's will never be known as a quality food place. They've tried this before about 4 times in the last 25 years. I'm not even kidding. Like, I remember over the course of the 2000s, they kept reintroducing chicken sandwiches. Remember they had the Southern-style chicken sandwich and all that? And then they did it again. They just keep doing this and failing. No one goes to McDonald's for quality food. They go to McDonald's for cheap food. It tastes good in some cases if it's not completely slathered in grease, but it's not healthy. It's not quality. You know when you're buying the El Cheapo shit at McDonald's, you're not getting good food. You're just getting it because you want something quick, cheap, and to fill your stomach. All right? It doesn't matter how much they're trying to compete with Chick-fil-A or the Popeyes chicken sandwich. They will fail. They will continuously fail if they believe that they are a premium food chain, because they are not. And no one is going to go to McDonald's to buy the premium food. It'll be just like before. Initially, people will check it out, and then after a few months, no one will buy it anymore, and it'll be phased out. I swear to God, I remember time after time in the last 15 years, McDonald's introducing the new chicken sandwich, the new chicken sandwich, the new chicken sandwich, and then it's gone within like a few months. Okay? So I really don't expect anything to come from this. Fantasy Star PG cheered and said the $70 pricing in games will be a big deal in gaming this gen. Now more than ever, people with a budget will pick and choose what games that they're going to buy. There are only 7 game studios in the world that people will trust to give them a quality and lengthy gameplay experience, or a simpler term, bang for the buck. Now, besides for Rockstar, Sony owns the other 6 trusted studios, so PlayStation games will have leeway with being the standard for the 70 price narrative. I agree with you there, but what I'm hoping is that some of these studios that Microsoft have bought will actually pump out some really good games in the next 5 years, because Microsoft bought a ton of gaming studios. And it would be good to see them actually make some quality stuff, so now we have some competition. I don't want to see only Sony pumping out what's considered AAA quality games. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen. Okay? Fantasy Star PG cheered again. He said, have you played Sea of Solitude? I just did. I feel like the game got overlooked because it came out after Hellblade. Unlike Hellblade, they made the story of a girl's depression easy to follow and understand what's happening to the girl. I hope that you play it sometime. It's definitely one of the best budget games I played since Limbo and Inside. I think I heard about it. I think I remember at E3. Like, not this year because there was none, but the year before, 2019, I think that I remember seeing something about this game, and then I just didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know when it came out or nothing. But no, I didn't play it. I didn't play it. Okay? Okay. Rob on Wheels did a 1500-bit cheer and says, I'm your biggest British fan. Thank you, Rob on Wheels. First of all, I believe that. And number 2, thank you for the support. 1500-bit cheer is the biggest cheer of the day. So thank you very much for that. Okay. Lies vs. Soul did a 510-bit cheer. He says, in the last episode of Cooking with the King, you said you like bread over tortillas. I don't know what you're talking about. That was last week. That wasn't Cooking with the King. What on earth are you talking about? Oh my god, this news is going crazy right now, dude. I'm reading right now about the news. There's crazy stuff going on. I'm just reading it right now. Just chaos. Chaos on Capitol Hill right now in our country. Oh my god. Alright, well anyway, there's really no new news. It's just they're storming the White House. They're basically, protesters are storming everything. They're storming the White House. They're storming Congress. They're storming everything. What the fuck is going on? Crazy. Well, I guess we'll see over the course of today's stream what happens. Live history taking place. Of course, are there any actual leaders leading this movement, or is it just a bunch of idiots doing stupid shit? I guess we'll have to see. Anyway. All right, continuing on. In regards to, do I like bread over tortillas? Yes, I do. Have you not had tacos, chilaquiles, or fried beans with tortillas? I've had tacos and I've had fried beans with tortillas, but personally, I do prefer bread more because bread can be made into many different things. And there's so many different kinds of bread versus tortillas and or tacos are pretty limited in what they can be. Corn or flour with some extra things. I've had like spinach and sun-dried tomato and stuff over the years, but I think that bread is more versatile. Lies for Soul cheered again. He said, I'm sorry for eating all the bacon and sour cream yesterday. I'll make sure to pick some up at the grocery store later. Thank you, Lies for Soul, for that cheer. TJ Reckless83 resubscribed at tier 2 for 2 months and said, hell yeah. Thank you, TJ Reckless, for that support. Now, here come the crazy amount of subs gifted today. I'm going to start reading through these. Duh Tractor gifted 10 subscriptions. So congratulations to Nose Vacuum, Jethro's Main, Frank Rucker, Oh Goddess, Aggressive Lawbringer, Blaring Fire, Conduit 3, Richie Rich Homie, Thurston Moore, and Hydrocarbon 1. Then Duh Tractor gifted 5 more subs. One to the Diddler of Dads, oh my god. One to Bayern Sure-Shot, one to Squirty, one to Iconic Christian, and one to Nitro ZKC. Then, Play Code Vein gifted 10 more subscriptions. One to Abadoobie, one to Mr. Gobley Gorp, one to the Names Ben, one to Ray282, one to Microwaved Hot Dogs, one to Toro Hex 7777, one to Agile B16, one to Captain Map 1101, one to Lord Sly 999, and one to V-Man the Laid Back Fan. Then Lies for Soul cheered. He said GameStop has turned into Hot Topic where they literally sell everything but what the core customers want. Last time I went to a GameStop, there was more merch and action figures shelf space than actual games. Same as Hot Topic, there's more merch of dumb YouTubers or even video games than actual rock bands. Yeah, Hot Topic started off as bands and actual goth stuff. Like, that's what the store was. And I guess they realized they would actually sell more if they just turned into a pop culture store, which is exactly what happened. And now they've lost their identity as a goth place or a band place. Same thing with GameStop. They've realized that selling all this junk is actually going to bring people to the store. Selling games wasn't anymore because games are pretty much fully digital now. So they've completely converted their stores. It's funny because Kat and I used to go to GameStop together. Every once in a while, walk around, look at the games, look at the accessories. We haven't done so in like a year. Like, there's no point. When we go in there, like, the whole store's junk. Like, what is this? So we don't even bother anymore. Jethro's Main cheers says, is this the start with Capcom doing this? Little by little, companies are going to put out the clamp on all streamers. That includes you, not just the big streamers. Jethro's Main, you may be correct, but again, here's the thing. They can't do anything. All they can do is hit you with a false takedown, which all you can do is you just dispute it, and it has to be reversed by DMCA law. It doesn't matter what these companies do unless they actually sue you. So until Capcom goes to a big content creator, all right, we're talking someone way bigger than me. We're talking someone who has a lot of clout and a lot of viewership, and they sue them and say, no, we don't want you doing this. Nothing will happen besides takedowns and then reverse the takedowns. It's just going to be bullshit. Really stupid bullshit, too. Golden Colts cheered and said, microwave frozen chicken nuggets with a giant blob of Heinz ketchup on the slate, a certified food classic? No. Lies for Soul cheered. He says, are you going to smoke marijuana now that it's going to be federally legal? No. Okay. Then, Darkside Jasper gifted 10 subscriptions to the channel. So congratulations to Azaki, It's Brandon, War Machine 75, Maddie the Zombie, Mr. Cakes PDX, CMAC 92, The Mighty Psycha, Groog, Hoot TV, and Divin Erasmus. Congratulations to all of you. Then, Real Organic Growth gifted 10 more subscriptions to the channel. One to Crazed Assassin, one to CC Griffin, one to Adam the Lickelman, one to Why So Triggered, Shikatoon, Nearsighted Lemur, Tanya Raven, Minar Demon, Stormforce Gamer, and Smegmapoo. Congratulations to all of you on the gifted subs. Ruby Atomic did 100-bit cheering. Said elections in America is like choosing between a cheese grater on your balls or dipping your hand in a river of lava. Actually, I would say it's more like sitting down and shoving a cactus up your ass, or sticking a spiked barbed rod up your dick hole. Because the candidates suck. And have been, like I explained earlier. Our government process only allows for rich people to be voted in. Because only rich people can afford to actually run a campaign so that people know who they are. So they can vote for them. So if you're not rich, it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter how well-intentioned you are, how much of a hard worker you are, and what ideas you have to better our country, you cannot become a lawmaker in our country because that's how the system works. It's rigged for the rich. I don't know how people think that is in line with the Constitution, but we allow it. Somehow. Real Organic Growth has gifted 5 more subscriptions to the channel. 1 to Hand Celebratory, 1 to Z Miller 246, 1 to Chaos Razor 327, 1 to Captain Ramrod, and 1 to Xenon 0. To anyone who just got a gifted sub, congratulations. Congratulations, everyone. And I hope you, for number 1, appreciate it, and you will say thank you to whoever it is that gifted it. Thank you to the person or persons who are gifting these subs. I had no idea this was going to happen today. I would say that's about, what, 35? Like 35 gifted subs or something like that. We'll check in a moment and see how many subs we're at. Will this offset the giant dip in subs we're going to see today? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Alexander Rossi cheers. He says, tear gas has been fired off by the National Guard and Capitol Police due to rioting inside the building by hundreds of people. Yes, I just talked about that. Grill X Pimp cheers. Says, did you know Equilibrium is Australian? No, I did not. Jam Ruben Jam has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Jam Ruben Jam, for the sub. Real Organic Growth gifted a sub to Lean and Go Squeak. Congratulations, Lean and Go Squeak. I don't know why you were singled out for a single sub, but you were. Umazir did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Umazir, for the 100-bit cheer. Grill X Pimp cheers. I heard a secret sandwich might be coming too. It's called the McDickfish. What? Okay, then. SPB Original. Hold on a second here. I need to confirm if this is real, because it's actually the first tip of the day. And again, guys, I appreciate all the support. The subs, the cheers. It's really nice. If you want to help me the most, please tip me today. I do need support via tips today. Like I said, I'm going to buy a game tonight and everything. Excuse me. Not to off-put the support that I've gotten this morning, because I'm not trying to do that, okay? But let's take a look, because I just got a tip, and I want to make sure that it's real. The first tip of the day. It is real. It's from SPB Original. So do you see how beneficial it is to have a verified account? I immediately looked. It's real. Boom. We're good. I don't have to ask, geez, FPB Original here? Did he really tip me? I just say, oh, it's real. Good stuff. Right? Thank you, SPB Original, for making a verified account. I appreciate that. So, SPB Original tipped me $4.20. Let's get that up on the leaderboard to start. Okay. He said, I'm at the protest now shouting DSP for president. A lot of the guys are nodding their head in agreement. Will you run? SPB Original, you're a troll. You're a unique kind of troll. All right? Oh, my God. Anyway. Thank you, SPB Original. Appreciate that. Super Sly Gaming cheered and said, you know, I'm the biggest British fan or something. What? Okay. Well, anyway, I'm checking the news again. Yes, all the buildings in the U.S. Capitol complex are now under complete lockdown because these Trump supporters completely stormed everything. They've shot tear gas. The election results now cannot be certified. Holy crap. Chaos. Chaos in the streets of our capital. By the way, I'm sure these protests totally won't spread COVID at all. Nah. As long as they're good for a good purpose, these protests are completely protected from spreading any kind of COVID. Don't you know that? I mean, of course, I'm being facetious here, right? We totally won't have thousands more dead after this. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Ribley Atomic Charity says, one of your viewers has a verified PayPal account but want to remain anonymous. How will they proceed? When you make your account, you can use whatever name you want. Like, you know, when you actually send the tip, you can use whatever name you want, I believe. And, you know, yeah, it's like your PayPal account, I've seen people with verified accounts who don't have their real name attached. I'll give you an example. Someone could use a name, and when they make their PayPal account, it's registered as a certain name, and that could be the same name as, say, their name here on Twitch. And then that's all I know. I don't see anything else behind the scenes to know any different, so I won't know who really is or anything, you know. Local Nomad Cheerty says, hello, welcome back. Looking forward to Yakuza. Me too. What a chaotic day we have going on. It's funny, the day I decided to talk politics is the day that everything's blowing up in our U.S. Capitol. Holy fuck. But I'm excited for Yakuza. It'll distract us from all the chaos. Joe Exotic 21 resale for 2 months said, what? Okay then. Conversialist Cheers said, will you fight for Trump on the streets? No. Total Scorn Cheers said, are you a fan of Megadeth? Why are some people calling you Dave? Am I a fan of Megadeth? I owned a couple of their albums in the 2000s and listened to them for a bit, so I did like the band. I haven't listened to anything of theirs in a while. Why are some people calling me Dave? Because it's a running meme. It's a meme to call me Dave for some reason. I think it originated when one day someone just called me that by accident and thought it was my real name, and it wasn't. My dad's name is Dave, and the name is fine. It's not like I'm not pissed when people call me Dave. I've heard there's a couple other streamers who get called other names, and they get really angry about it. So I think people take that meme from those streamers and carry it over here, even though I don't care. Like, I don't see it being negative to being called Dave. It's my dad's name, you know? I don't know. Someone said maybe it's because of David Brent. People have said that I look like Ricky Gervais over the years, and his character from The Office was David Brent. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. And I really don't care. It's not a big deal. Okay. Shout-outs on this chaotic morning. Well, actually, now it's afternoon. So thank you to the top cheers of the week so far. We've got Nose Vacuum in 10th place, Eternal Napalm in 9th, Local Nomad in 8th, Ninstar Rune in 7th, Timbo Slice in 6th, Golden Colts in 5th, Robo Brain 620 in 4th, The Leg Slap of Doom in 3rd, Rob on Wheels in 2nd, and Lies of Her Soul in 1st. Thank you for the cheers this week. So thank you to those who've gifted subs. We have a tie for people who gifted 1 sub. Of course, probably more people than this did it, but these are the ones that show up on the leaderboard. We've got Jom Ann, Straight Cash Homie, Ultima Cloud 7, and Weak Jr. Spawn Killer and Golden Nobles each gifted 2 subs to the channel. Now we have the people who gifted the subs this morning. We got Darkside Jasper who gifted 10, Playcode Vane who gifted 10, Duh Tractor who gifted 15, and Real Organic Growth who did 16. So that would be 41 gifted subs this morning. I'm going to check on sub count in just a second here and see how we're doing. Kula 116 cheers says, do you ever like to have a drink or a long... let me try this again. Do you ever like to have a drink after a long day? If you do, what's the drink of choice? Sometimes I do. And I've talked about this over the years. There's various things I've drunk over the years. Some rum and coke, gin and tonic, tequila, vodka. I was telling you guys last year, one of the drinks that I had tried was vodka and grapefruit juice? Yes, vodka and grapefruit juice. And that was actually really good. And people were telling me, oh, that's a real drink. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that it was a real drink. There's something that I tried randomly because I had grapefruit juice in my fridge, and I tossed it in with some vodka, and it tasted really good. So I actually was very pleased that I had discovered that. So there really is no staple drink that I would have. It just depends on what I currently have at home and stuff like that. Conversalist cheers said, can you ban Biden? No. I don't know how would I ban Biden exactly? Benzuko Lives just tipped me $3. Thank you, Benzuko Lives, for a $3 tip. I appreciate that. And thank you guys for all the support. I mean, 41 gifted subs is a lot. Thank you to whoever that was or whoever those were, because it was multiple different names. Let's see how we're doing now. I'm currently at 976 subscribers. So we obviously went up quite a bit this morning. Now, guys, remember, I fully expect that today we're going to dip a ton. It was about 1 month ago exactly that about 150 subs were gifted to the channel. So thank you to the people who are gifting these subs, but we may see a giant dip today regardless, okay? All right. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's take a brief break. The good news is I don't have to take a giant dump or anything today. But I do have to take a leak and, you know, wash my hands here, get ready for Yakuza. All right, so I'm going to do that. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back, and then we're going to start with Yakuza. Remember, what we're doing is we're doing the challenge tower. I'm going to see if I can finish it and go from there. All right, fair enough? All right. I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll be right back. Thanks.